Well, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
For better or for worse, we've made it through another football season.
Oh boy. It's been quite a season. Quite a season. One of many highs, lows, and things I would prefer to forget.
Yeah, you've had a particularly I haven't had the best one either by any stretch of the imagination. But you've really like gone through some like franchise changing shit this year, dude.
Yep. I'm gonna submit my application to join the Bills Mafia next year.
Can you believe that Daniel Jones plays for the Minnesota Vikings?
I would much rather say he is rostered.
Well, clearly he was in fucking street clothes. That was confusing to me.
Yeah.
Like, didn't you expect him to be wearing a uniform? I did.
I don't recall seeing him last night for two reasons. One, most importantly, I drank a lot last night. I had a good time. Secondly,
that's fucking hilarious because you pointed at you like we were watching fucking Stanhope at the same time, and you actually like stopped it. You physically stopped the set to show me that Danny Dimes is on TV.
I don't remember that shit. I was fucking high out of my mind.
That's awesome.
I was drunk as fuck. It was awesome. I had a great time last night.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious yesterday for sure.
Yeah. It was yeah. I don't remember that at all.
That's so funny.
That's
great. You just started clowning on him, bro. It was really funny. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
When I'm on one like that, funny things do tend to come out of my mouth.
Just in general, if I'm being honest, you are a funny motherfucker. That's why I keep you around. There's not a lot of people that make it as long as you have, Jerry. That's for goddamn sure.
Well, I'm very fortunate.
Yes, fucking. I'll take that. Thanks, bud. Shit. That pull of the cork is Garrison Brothers. I don't have really like anything in particular to celebrate. Maybe it's the first NFL season with a kid, and that's been interesting to say the least. Thank you, wife. I love you, Molly. Thanks for giving me the ability to watch my fucking games. So that's been pretty good. Of course, Tony and I watch a little bit together, but yeah, it's been a little bit different, just a little bit, but I enjoy it. It's been good. So we're definitely Garrison Brothering tonight. 140.2 proof. This stuff just is fan-fucking-tastic, and we're having it in the fancy Glencairn. No mason jar for this guy. Ooh, baby. Jerry. That's some good shit. Fuck.
That's good.
I'm gonna get you a bottle of this.
I'll find one.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Fucked Up Fantasy Football Podcast. Co-host Corey Russo, Jerry Rodriguez. We are in the playoffs. That's right, folks. We are talking about the playoffs. The seeds have been set. The regular season for 2024 has been put to bed, to sleep, a deep sleep. She gone. Just like Doug Peterson. Hey. I am sad because we still have not let go McCarthy. Like, what could we possibly be? The only other Cowboys coach to have multiple seasons with 10 losses. Are you ready for it, Jerry? Dave Campo. Mike McCarthy is as good as Dave fucking Campo. What the if anybody thinks that Jerry has been getting less senile as he gets older, that is the one right there that puts any of that thought process into bed. That motherfucker needs to get the fuck out. God almighty. I might need to fucking think about sending in an application somewhere else because I don't know how much I can fucking take of this shit. This is insane, bro. Insane. If Mike McCarthy returns back as a coach, I don't I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I just want to add a little something to this. I saw this morning, the news talking about everything, and there was an interview Mr. Jones did, basically asking him, "Do you plan on getting a GM at any point?" When I bought this team, I bought an occupation that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Somewhere, I'm paraphrasing here, somewhere along those words. So basically saying, hell no, I'm not going to do that. So, he said something along the lines that he knows how the money is being spent and where it's going. So who better than him? So to
anybody who knows NFL talent in the fucking 21st century. How about that?
Well, here's the best part about that, though.
Goddamn idiot.
He knows how the money is getting spent and all that stuff.
Down the toilet?
Yeah, he decides, you know what? I don't want to fork over another $500,000. So we're going to go ahead and start Trey Lance instead of Cooper Rush. Because if Cooper Rush had reached that, 55% of the snaps milestone, which he potentially could have in that game, that he would have gotten another $500,000. So it was like, nah, I'm not giving this guy any more money. It's just like,
Jerry's a cunt.
Man. It's like, that's just fucked up, man. That's just wrong. And then you got teams like the Bucks, who
man, shout out to the Bucks.
The game is over. It's done. They have one more possession, and they're like, fuck this, man. Let's get out there and get Mike Evans that milestone. And they did, and got him another $3 million, and he's tied with Jerry Rice for the most seasons, 11, with 1,000 yards to start a career. Like,
and Mike Evans still has
incredible.
like 6 or 7 more to go. He's 33.
It's incredible.
Like,
it's incredible. Well, I don't know if he's gonna go to 40, but
yeah, he has been pretty banged up for sure. But
yeah, he's probably
at least 5.
Tops 5. I was gonna say tops.
At least 5. Like, I'm just saying.
I'd say a strong 3, 4, and 5 are gonna be shaky.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he's unbelievable. He's a Hall of Famer for sure.
He's incredible.
Absolute Hall of Famer. Yeah.
We've said it numerous times.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. He's a great wide receiver. He's definitely one of the best in the National Football League. And maybe I'll draft him next year, and then that's when he's gonna suck shit. Would be my luck. But
he's gonna get you 1,000 yards. He'll get you that.
I mean, yeah, he'll get me 1,000. But all right, well, fuck this shit. Let's get into it, kid. And it just like, man, it gets better for sure. The more like oxygen's in that little neck there, because that fucking 140 is just spicy meatballs. So it's definitely getting better. I love it. We're going to cover the games that actually have playoff implications. And then other than that, we're just going to move on through these games. And even a couple of them that had implications, we're just going to move on through them. The Baltimore Ravens 35 and the Cleveland Browns 10. Minus 20 sandwich. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And the Baltimore Ravens wrap up the NFC North to obtain the 3rd seed in the National Football League playoffs. The Cincinnati Bengals win. They beat the Steelers. However, the rest of the results did not line up for them, so the Cincinnati Bengals, no bueno on the fucking playoffs.
Yep.
That
so sad.
Yeah, maybe you should win more. This didn't have a playoff implication, but this was one of the funniest fucking finishes of the entire week. Chicago Bears 24 and the Green Bay Packers 22. Oh boy, did the Green Bay Packers choke sandwiches. They've lost Christian Watson to an ACL tear, potentially next season as well. Big implications for that injury. The Houston Texans had nothing to play for, but wrapped it up 23-14. I just wanted to put it out that they still only scored 2 touchdowns when they were under the gun, and one of them was a 92-yard stupid touchdown by Dameon Pierce. Of course, we all started Dameon Pierce. Fucking cocksucker. Big playoff implications. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win in a nerve-wracking slobber knocker, 27-19 over the New Orleans Saints. Rough first half for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then they came back in the second half like beasts. Shout out again to Mike Evans for being one of the most epic wide receivers in the National Football League. The Denver Broncos 38 and the Kansas City Chiefs 0. Denver Broncos in the playoffs. Bengals are not. And also the Miami Dolphins lose to the New York Jets. Wow. 32-20. Aaron Rodgers throws his 500th touchdown pass in the contest. Seattle Seahawks win their 10th game, 30-25 over the Rams. This enables Geno Smith to get, I think it was $6 million. $2 million for the 10th win, $2 million for over 65% of his passes completed, and $2 million for something else. He made bank yesterday.
I think yardage, because he broke his own franchise record for passing yards.
Gotcha. Yeah, he made a shit ton of money. Evans made like $1 million something or $2 million or something, but yeah, Geno fucking made bizank yesterday. It was nuts. The Arizona Cardinals beat the San Francisco 49ers 47-24. And Jerry, you might ask, what playoff implications does this have? Absolutely nothing. I just wanted to rub into the faces of the 49ers fans that the Dallas Cowboys had more wins than you, bitch. Suck it. In the one of the best games during the week. Kidding. Complete fucking dud. The Minnesota Vikings fall to the Detroit Lions. Jahmyr fucking Gibbs with four touchdowns. 31-9, my bro. That's our quick rundown of what the fuck went down. What game do we want to dive into, Jerry? What was the one that kind of piqued your interest the most over this Sunday? I'm very interested to know.
Let me see here. Well, the Bucs Saints game was like, holy shit. I was working, but obviously I have it on. It's the local broadcast, and I'm just watching this, and I'm just like, how is it that they're gonna like totally blow this game and look so bad and look so bad? They're doing it, and then in classic fashion, they turn around in the second half, like you said, and they did the damn thing. That Mike Evans thing, that was just, I keep harping on that, but that felt good. That just felt good seeing that happen.
Oh yeah,
and the way they celebrated him and the way they were just so happy for him, and just that's classy shit, man. That's a good organization.
Yeah, the sidelines went fucking right bonkers. By your players. Fucking bonkers. Yeah,
that's doing right by arguably one of your greatest players of all time. Like, he's going to be in the ring of fame or whatever, the ring of honor that every team has. Let's see. Oh, the fail clowns continue to fail.
Oh yeah,
they just fail.
Did I scroll right through that one? I didn't even mention that one.
You certainly did, sir.
Oh yeah, I scrolled right through
38.
it. Sorry.
The Panthers whoop up on the Falcons in overtime.
Yeah,
and Bryce Young, dude.
Man,
Bryce Young, 5 touchdowns, 3 in the air, 2 on the ground.
Yeah.
And then they made that statement at the end. They said, "We have our guy." Like the confidence has never been higher, and good for him, because he's such a nice kid. You never see him like upset or anything or down. He just might have more of a serious look on his face, like when he wasn't doing well, whatever. But he just kept at it, man. He just kept at it. And Miles Sanders had himself a day yesterday.
Fuck that bitch.
17 carries for 66 and a touchdown. And then, of course, he's got 3 grabs for 50 yards and another touchdown. Like, holy shit, where'd that guy come from?
Literally the bench. Literally the bench. But needed Chuba Hubbard to go down.
I mean, when it comes to Atlanta, it's going to be interesting to see how this thing goes next year, because clearly Michael Penix is the quarterback.
Why does Kirk Cousins always have his goddamn helmet on like he's going to go into the play at any moment? How does that fucking dude not get that he should have a hat on and a fucking earpiece, and listen into what's going on?
He's creepy.
That dude is fucked in the brain. Man, weird as shit.
He's very wealthy, though. He's very wealthy.
Well, yeah, he's got the greatest agent ever. Like, he needs to make out with them because it's like it's almost better than Tyreek Hill. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Drake London had a hell of a day, though, and it's gonna be interesting to see how this connection.
He made me money.
How this connection goes into the next few years with Michael Penix and him, being his primary target. Like, Drake London looked like the Drake London we've all been wanting to see all year long, or many of us that drafted him. I was one of them. And then here you go.
And Kyle Pitts still looks like Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Granted, they played the Panthers, and the Panthers aren't a good defense, but still, like, the guy, he had 18 fucking targets. That's outrageous. 10 for 187 and 2 touchdowns.
He made bank for me for sure.
Wild.
Yeah, he made bank.
That is wild. And I don't have to say anything about Bijan. Bijan's a fucking animal.
I had a hundo plus yards in the tutty for on the Money Bank sandwich for Mr. Drake London. I had a good feeling that he was going to go nuts. But Kyle Pitts is still an absolute, like, that guy is completely on the, like, do not fucking touch, like, ever.
Yeah, forever.
Ever.
He's on the COVID list.
Yeah, him and Miles Sanders can go party together. I ain't touching both those motherfuckers, like, ever.
And the last couple things I want to talk about real quick, that was the first time the Bears have beaten the Packers since 2018.
Yeah, that was wild. When they fucking threw that fucking graphic up, I was like, Jesus. Like,
yeah. And, I mean, the Packers had the game won, and then, you get that stupid horse collar penalty. Gives them 15 yards. And then it almost seemed like that last play that got him into field goal range, they weren't even interested in tackling. They were like, yeah, go ahead. Like, the guy kind of just fell down. I mean, they were running out of time. But they were like, just go ahead and lay down and kick the ball. Let's get this over with. That was terrible. And then the last thing I want to touch on out of those games that you talked about is with Miami. What the fuck is up with Tyreek? What is going on? Why all of a sudden now? This is you want to go against everything you've been saying for the last 2 or 3 years about Miami, about Tua, about being there, about getting your money, about, like, you have once again now become like shithead Tyreek.
I don't know. I think it was like you mean shithead Antonio Brown.
No. I mean, he's being shithead Tyreek
gotcha.
because, like, he's been shithead Tyreek in the past.
I mean,
it's just been a while.
I think. I mean, it's the basically the equivalent of, like, trying to commit suicide in front of everybody. And I mean, I don't mean to be, make light of that situation, but I'm just saying, if I lost the fucking Jets at home also, I wouldn't be thrilled. The Jets are a horrible football team with just systemic issues, no culture whatsoever, and they just completely thumped the Dolphins at home. Like, they embarrassed Miami. That was one of the most embarrassing results of the week, dude. So, I mean, if I was a high-flying competitor like Tyreek, I don't think I would have used the same words as him, but I would definitely be very, very, very upset. Very upset.
Yeah, but he should know better that every single time, I don't want to say every single time, a very large majority of the time, most of the time, when Tua is not starting at quarterback, the Dolphins ain't shit. They won last week because Snoop Huntley all of a sudden remembered how to play football again. But, like, how long was that really going to last? Let's be honest. I mean, that's outrageous, man. There's no reason for that. I don't like it. I don't like what he's doing.
Like, I'm just saying.
I don't even have the right words for it. It annoys me to see something like that.
I mean, sure, but those wide receivers are all prima donnas, bro. They're all prima donna motherfuckers.
Sticking up for Tua.
That guy's my quarterback.
He's saying he's a better passer than Patrick Mahomes and shit like that when he first got there. Okay, cool. That's what you're supposed to say and stuff like that. But I mean, he was going to bat for this kid, and now it's like, nah, man, we can't do this. Like, this team is no good. I'm a competitor, and the other 52 guys aren't. Like, come on, man. Like, it just, I don't know.
I hear what you're saying, but
it just like he's supposed to be one of the leaders of the team and set the example, and
Well,
He's
I
being a
like
little
you
bitch,
holding
but-
him to a higher standard. At least someone.
I mean, you have to. He's a veteran. Like, he's been in the league. He's one of the best football players in the entire world, and he's acting like a fucking child. He's acting like AB, like you said. Like, it's. They even said this morning on I think it was on First Take or something. I don't know. That is this becoming a trend where guys are just going to start quitting on their team? Like that dude from San Fran did it. AB did it a couple years ago. Tyreek's doing it. Like, what the fuck is this, man? Like in the real world, when you decide you don't want to go to work and you tell them I don't want to go, you don't have a job anymore.
Well, I mean, they
Your
did
job is
fire.
gone.
They did fire the Niners guy for sure.
I get it, but here's the difference. The Niners guy, that guy was like a second or third string guy. Tyreek is an all pro. He's an all pro. Like, so you can't, you know, their hands are tied. The Dolphins are, because they just gave him a bag, gave him a shit ton of money. It's just I don't like that, man. It sucks. Like, it really, really sucks. I hate seeing that shit. I hate it when athletes do that. I understand that you're mad. You're a competitor. You don't like losing, but you don't quit on your team though, man. You just don't do that. That's unforgivable. Like, and if that's part of his grand scheme to get the hell up out of there, mission accomplished. Because I'll be honest with you, if I was one of his teammates, I wouldn't want that motherfucker back on my team. If he's going to do that once, he's capable of doing it again. And he's going to let you down, and he's going to be the reason why you won't get somewhere, because he's going to just, because he's not going to get his way, he's going to sabotage everything. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. That just makes me, that's just one of the many things that I saw today that I didn't like. You let me know when I can start discussing the other thing that you know what I want to talk about. Before
we get to that, I want to talk about Joe Milton's backflip. That shit was gangster.
That was pretty cool. I saw it live too.
Yeah, me too, dude. He's a big dude, man. That's not like
he's a super freak athlete.
Man, that was fucking impressive. I'm just saying, they got to give him a shot.
I think honestly, if they want to keep this guy on the team, and I happened to have two Pats fans sitting at the bar, while the 1 o'clock games were going on. They were talking about their team. I'm talking about how shitty the Giants are, blah blah blah, whatever. And
nice kumbaya moment.
Joe Milton. Yeah, it was fantastic. And I said, he's an amazing athlete. I think that, like, if he could be a gadget player, like if he could be like a Cordero Patterson, where he can just do all the things, Taysom Hill, where he could do all the things, you set up some weird plays for him in the Wildcat, maybe have him throw it. He's definitely fast. He can run like a goddamn gazelle. He's got a cannon for an arm. Problem is, he's not very accurate. But he did have that really amazing scramble play that I think was negated by a hold. He was scrambling all over the place and then just drilled it in there for a touchdown that got called back. But I mean, there's a lot of potential there, but he's definitely not, QB1 type material. But he's definitely fun to watch. He'll be fun to watch in the preseason and week 18 going forward. I mean, but if he can still collect a check, good for him. But that's about as much of Joe Milton as you're going to see.
Excuse me. I mean, I'm down for it. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. He was like playing NFL Street or like playground football. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's perfect. The Patriots need that this year. They've been a shit organization.
Oh my God. They proved that by firing their handpicked successor. After 1 year, said, and those guys were telling me, they're like, the fan base, just people around town, stuff like that, just like nobody liked the guy.
Yeah, nobody seems to like him at all. It's really weird.
He was just absolutely unlikable. He was on a radio show locally over there and said something along the lines of like, fans need to know their place or something like that. Like, said some very, very negative comments about the fans, and I guess that was the last straw. They revolted, and Mr. Kraft said, "Yeah, you gotta go, son." That's too bad. I hope he can find a job as like maybe a DC somewhere, because I mean,
think he would be.
again, not every guy is built to be a head coach. Some guys are just better suited to be a coordinator or whatever. And
totally.
he could be one of them. Hopefully he gets another chance somewhere else and he finds some success. But
yeah,
now,
he definitely needed to be a coordinator before he was a head coach. I think that was just too much.
I mean, no, he was a defensive coordinator or like a positions coach, a defensive positions coach.
Positions is different than being a coordinator for sure. You got another rung up after that. So yeah. I think he needed a little bit more. He's needed to be more seasoned as a coach, no matter how you put it.
Having gone from player to coach to head coach, that's in such a short time too. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Not everybody can be successful like Mike Vrabel. Just saying.
Yeah, and who might be the next New England coach? I have a real strong feeling that's the guy they're gonna get.
I fucking wish that Vrabel would coach the Cowboys, but that's my candidate. But I know it'll never happen.
To coach my team.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen, Jerry, because. What was one of the news headlines that we heard today? It sounds like the New York Giants are going to preclude themselves from the NFL coaching search this year, surprisingly. So
I hate it.
I'll give you a few minutes here because I also texted Maz. Maz is also not down with this shit either. But
shout out to Maz. Hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Yeah, bro, for sure.
It was the news is really disappointing for a lot of reasons. It was. So I've been watching some YouTube videos of like Giants fans. They have their own little podcasts or whatever on there, and they're just discussing everything and the state of the team and blah 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 whatever. One of them in particular was from WFAN, the local radio station up there, and they said the worst scenario would have been to fire one and keep the other. Like if they would have fired Daboll, kept Shane, that would have just looked really stupid because who the hell wants to be a part of that. And then the second worst scenario would be keeping both of them, that they should have gotten rid of them. And I agree with all of it. I absolutely agree with the notion that these guys know they're on thin ice. They know that they basically have one more shot. And what happens when somebody's desperate, when they know that their time is running out? They make stupid decisions. They make quick moves. They don't think things through. And I have a terrible feeling the same thing is going to happen with this team, that these guys know that their jobs are on the line and that if they fuck up again, that they're finished. But they're going to go out and they're going to get on this draft and they're going to force something. They're going to go and try and get a quarterback, or Shane's going to do something stupid and try and move up and get Shador or don't force it. You absolutely do not need to force it. You don't need to get one of these guys. Shador is not what everybody thinks he is. Okay? He hasn't, anybody that works for the NFL Network, and especially a lot of these guys that have been there for a long time, I will take whatever they say as gospel most of the damn time, because for fuck's sake, man, they know what they're talking about. They live, breathe, eat, report this shit. That's all they do. Tom Pelissero said there's a lot of GMs out there that don't have a first round grade on Shador Sanders, but because of the absolute just need for a quarterback, and it's almost like a crackhead needs crack type of shit, like a drug addict needs their fix. I like Cam Ward, but he might not be the guy either. So if you have more problems than just quarterback, why wouldn't you just go get the best player available to you at 3? A lot of people want to say that's Travis Hunter. I'm on the fence with it. I don't think it's a bad pick if the Giants sit at 3 and grab Travis Hunter. I don't think it's the worst pick. If there's an offensive lineman that's like, that this guy is going to be the guy for the next 10 years, like they say all that, well, that guy's going to be your starting right tackle for the next 10 years. Go get that motherfucker. Go get that. Because you can get any serviceable quarterback that's already been in the league. You went and spent money on Drew Lock and you fucked that up. Why not go after a shitty-ass Kirk Cousins a year later? He's going to be a bridge quarterback. Go after a guy like that. What if Mariota's available? Mariota played a pretty damn good game yesterday. But it all depends on what these two guys, do as far as building the roster, because they talk to one another. They're hand in hand. We saw in Hard Knocks how they were like, well, you like this guy, like, oh, I like this guy, whatever. Like, make intelligent, educated decisions. Don't just like, oh, fuck, we really need a quarterback. Well, let's do whatever we got to do to get a quarterback. The Giants are not going to be a good team next year. They're not. That's the reality. It doesn't matter how many draft picks you have, how much money you have available in salary cap. They're not going to be a good team next year. It's going to be the same old, same old. They might be just as bad as they were. And it drives me nuts that Mara and Steve Tisch decided, we'll keep them around. We'll keep them both around. Let's see. It'll work out. It's going to be fine. It's just, I'm disgusted, man. I'm just so disgusted by it. That's why I'm saying I think I'm going to get my application to join the Bills Mafia next year, because like, I don't want to go through it again. I really don't. This was a rough year. The fact that I don't think I watched more than 3 full Giants games this year. If that, one of them I know, I watched the Munich game because I was at work and it was on. I watched one of the Cowboys games with you. I don't even know what other game I watched, but it's just it's depressing, man. It's depressing. It's the one thing we wait for all week long, to watch our team. And it's like, I don't even give a shit about this team, man. I was glad the season finished yesterday, because I was like, okay, cool. I can put all this fucking gear away. I don't have to wear none of this shit for the rest of the year. Like, fuck this. Like, fuck them. Fuck the Giants. I'm just really, really annoyed with them right now. They have no clue. They have no clue. They are like the Jets right now, and you know how I feel about the Jets. They're no better than the Jets. It's the same bullshit. Look, Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy's contract set to expire Wednesday. There's your segue.
Fantasy football this year has been, let's just say, interesting. This has been one of the most challenging fantasy football seasons for me as an owner this year. I've had a lot of issues trying to sort out my team. Most of the calls that I made, unfortunately, didn't have the right juice at the right times. So since we are in our kind of reaction / recap episode of the year, figured it's a good time as any to go over some winners, some duds, and just some whatever the fuck to recap the fantasy football season for 2024, now that everyone has definitely finished any championships that have gone down. Let's start with surprises, Jerry. What's the biggest surprises that you have in fantasy football this year?
Baker was one of them.
Yeah,
I'm on Fantasy Pros. Interesting. You know what? If they like him and they're happy with the interview, he's going to take that job. He's not going to wait around to find out what's up with Dallas.
Yeah, well,
obviously. I think he can't wait to get out. We had
a little bit of a technical difficulty there. My entire fucking soundboard lost power, folks. So this is the rude interruption to where Jerry, in the meantime, had just figured out that Mike McCarthy actually was asked to be interviewed by the Chicago Bears, which I just kind of assumed that he knew already, but that was an incorrect assumption. So, I definitely do agree. I think that he'll just go and take that, because I would. Caleb Williams is like that's a treat. So yeah, I would definitely be going over there. I mean, who gives a shit about Dak? He's a dick, and it's just a toxic organization to be working for. So fuck them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as far as surprises are concerned, I'm definitely I'm in agreement with you for Baker May. Even Sam Darnold.
He was QB4. I mean, yeah, Sam Darnold, without a doubt.
Yeah, Sam Darnold was absolutely just like off the fucking charts. Like nobody, like people were actually drafting Baker Mayfield, like either in desperation or not. Like they were drafting Baker Mayfield versus definitely not taking anything to do with Sam Darnold, because nobody wants to do anything to do with Sam Darnold ever up until this year. So, yeah, I think I think he honestly is one of the biggest surprises of this whole fucking thing, man.
And I'll just go through like every position. Like we're doing quarterback now. Another one, Bo Nix. Bo Nix finished top 10. He finished 7th in a half-point PPR league.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
And that's pretty impressive for a guy a lot of people didn't think was gonna have a decent year. I mean, I always thought he would turn out to be a pretty good quarterback just because he's been playing for so long at college and different systems. He did play in a pretty good pro system in Oregon, but him at 7, and then of course the other rookie, Jaden Daniels, finished at 5. So that's pretty impressive. My prediction of Joe Burrow being the number 1 quarterback, I was wrong by 2 positions. He finished 3, but man, he had a hell of a year. Let me see, quarterback. Mahomes finished 11th.
Oh yeah, he trashed. Surprising in the wrong way for sure. He did not do well at all.
He used to be an automatic 22 to 25 points every week, and he broke 20 points 1, 2, 3, 4 times this season.
Yeah,
4 times in 16 games he played.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Let's see what else we got. Nothing else really from the quarterback position. Do you have any other quarterbacks that you would like to mention?
No, I mean, I was pretty shocked with Patrick Mahomes. I think that was probably the worst. That's probably the worst one. In the entire that pissed me right off. Like that just fucking pissed me right off. So, that one was the least. That was the least pleasurable of any draft picks that I did. He just fucking killed me, badly, and so, that was super fucking frustrating. Not gonna lie. Yeah. As far as I think another big disappointment too, it wasn't like a high draft pick that a lot of people, but some people might have spent the draft capital thinking that he was going to be all that in a bag of potato chips, and he actually didn't really do shit. And that was CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud had a fucking horrible fucking year from a fantasy football perspective. I know his team is in the playoffs, and that's fucking great because their division's a little bit whack, so they get a little bit of an advantage in that way. But man, that boy did not do well this year from a fantasy perspective. I had him in one league, and I fucking bombed that league. He was so fucking bad. I have a big issue with CJ Stroud's performance this year.
He only broke 20 points once.
Yep.
One time this season. That's. I mean, hey, sophomore slump. It is what it is. It was crystal clear that offensive line was a major issue for him, because that guy was running for his life and on his back quite a bit. It sucks, but I'll tell you. I did say him a little earlier. Bryce Young, he finished strong. He finished really, really strong. He started with what is it here? Let me see. Am I in the right column? Yes. Okay. He started with 11.63, then benched 3, benched -0.2.
Jesus.
And then from what week is it? Week 7 on? 15, 10, 12, a bye week, 16, 23, 13, 14, 27, 16, and then he finished off with 36.4. So he averaged 14.6 a game. There's some hope for him. There's some hope from him, and the team can hopefully do a little something and maybe become somewhat relevant. Another favorite of everybody's, good old Anthony Richardson.
Oh my
that guy.
fucking God,
that guy.
Man.
He's on the COVID list too.
Oh man, like he's hot shit garbage. He's absolutely garbage.
Yeah, that was bad.
I can't believe Caleb Williams,
bad.
and I know I'm looking at armchair, so it's a little bit different, but it's definitely a big enough swing. Caleb Williams outscored CJ Stroud by about 30 points, 28 points in half PPR. So
I'm not surprised. I mean, they were down a lot of games, and he had to fling the ball around a lot.
Yeah.
He had a good start to the season, and then he was up and down a lot.
Yeah, kind of wild.
Shall we move on to running back, sir?
Oh man, I mean, I almost beat you, but then I didn't. Derrick Henry finishes second. Saquon Barkley is the number 1 running back in fantasy football this year, kids. Not bad.
My one good call. My one good call this season.
True. That's very true.
Man, he was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That son of a bitch, man. He was just out of control. Averaging 21.2 points in a half-point PPR.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is wild. Now, according to Fantasy Pros, for a half-point PPR, Jahmyr Gibbs leapfrogged over Derrick Henry.
In armchair, we have 6-point touchdowns, and we have the half PPR, so I'm very confused at that because this should be a little bit accurate. There must be something going on. Fumble, probably fumble points and things. That's probably what the difference is for.
Okay.
I bet you it's fumbles.
Yeah, he said he outscored him by 10 points over the course of the season, 336.9 to 326.9.
So I have Jahmyr Gibbs at 310 and Derrick Henry at 317.
Close enough.
So yeah, close enough. But
yeah, I mean,
I miss Kyren Williams out of the top 5. I think on every list. He finished 6th.
He's 7th here, so close enough. Yeah. But I mean, Saquon, Gibbs, Henry, Robinson, Josh Jacobs, A-Chain, Williams, James Cook cracked the top 10, Jonathan Taylor, and then Kamara at 10.
Oh wow, yeah, definitely armchair has a little bit different scoring, but I got James Conner at 10 and Joe Mixon 11, Chase Brown 12. So. Yep. And Chuba Hubbard finishing 13th, the Canadian kid right next to Bucky Irving.
Yep. That was our little darling this year, Mr. Bucky Irving.
Studley.
I would probably say biggest disappointment, hands down, easy, Breece Hall from the running back perspective.
Yeah, barely rounded out the top 20 with another actual disappointment because I know he was going lots, which was Najee Harris. He was horrible.
He hasn't really. He doesn't get in the end zone enough.
He has for like 3 years, bro, and people still draft him like he's one of the best running backs in the league, and I don't think he's finished in the top 10 ever. Has he?
He gets 1,000. I don't know. He gets 1,000 yards every year, but he doesn't get in the end zone. And it's I mean, at the end of the day, you need touchdowns. You need to score.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see who else here. J.K. Dobbins was a pleasant surprise. That was a good feel-good story. On here, he finished at 23.
I like for all the chat that everyone fucking disses Tony Pollard for not being on the Dallas Cowboys. That him and Rico Dowdle ran for the same amount of yards, and Dowdle did it in fucking 25 less carries. Just saying.
Yeah. One of the shinier pieces of the Giants this year, Tyrone Tracy. I got him at 26 here.
Yep, me too. That's nice.
He didn't play much in the beginning of the season, but he's clearly taken over the role as RB1 on that team. So
here's the biggest.
Hopefully it works.
Here's the biggest letdown by a mile. Travis Etienne Jr. 39th.
Oh yes,
39th.
That is
That has to be the biggest bum in that entire list.
Down there. Absolutely, no doubt about that, man.
Yeah.
That was. I mean. Where is I haven't even seen McCaffrey. I'm still scrolling.
Oh man, yeah, like honestly, like that dude didn't do shit.
There he is, 72.
Wow. Yep, and I had a keeper on him, so that was fucking fantastic. Told you I wasn't feeling good about that. God damn it, man. Oh well.
Yeah, well. Shit happens. We live and learn, folks. We live and learn.
I can't believe Jamar Chase is the number 1 wide receiver this year.
Wasn't he the number 1 overall fantasy player?
I think, well, I know our quarterbacks have a little bit of different scoring over here. Our quarterbacks get into the 300s in my league, but
so did he.
I got him at 276.
Okay, so the way these people score, they have him at 339.5.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I got him at
second place being
276.
Jefferson.
And I got Lamar Jackson at 434.4. As far as like
Justin Jefferson. So just using this, Jamar Chase is at 339.5. Jamar Chase was in second. Is at Justin Jefferson was in second. 266 points. That's 100 plus points less.
Oh wow.
Than Jamar Chase.
Yeah, we got 62.5 point difference if you're playing in armchair. Just still a lot.
That's wild.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Amon-Ra came in third here. Brian Thomas Jr. There's another rookie. Drake London had a fairly good season. He started off really slow, and in the middle of the season he finished strong. McLaurin, that was a good. I don't want to say that was a surprise because that's always been there. He's just never had a quarterback to throw to him, but it was good to see that he had as good of a season as he did. Because I mean, that motherfucker was just catching touchdowns left and right. I think he set a franchise record this year. I think he had 12. My boy Malik Neighbors cracked the top 10. That was nice. That's nice to see. CeeDee Lamb's up there. Evans, JSN made an appearance.
Yeah, I got him on the top 14, just after, between Jameson Williams at 13 and Garrett Wilson at 15. AJ Brown's all the way down at 17th. I think it's a little bit of a disappointment to say the least. The other thing that I can't help but notice as well is that the point spread here between running backs and wide receivers is pretty different. The wide receiver gang is not putting up a lot of points this year. There's definitely a lot of thinning out. The running backs in the top 10 have absolutely dominated as far as points per game are concerned and scoring. So that's something that I haven't seen in a little bit, because I'm pretty sure if I went back a season that, definitely the wide receiver scored way more points last year in the top 10, 268 down to 174. Is what it is last year at the wide receiver position, and the running backs dropped off like ungodly, 324 to 190 last year. Okay, so man, yeah, because like last year the running backs, for example,
like all that negative talk about how the running back ain't shit.
Yeah, like this year, for example, it's 322, and then 206 is the 10th ranked running back. Like that is 50 fucking points more. So that's pretty fucking dope, to be honest.
Okay, did you get this news? I'm seeing breaking news here.
I am.
Chargers plan to sign Ezekiel Elliott to the practice squad.
Hilarious.
What the fuck is that about? Why?
Who are they playing? They're playing the Texans, and then nobody that
he's gonna be like an emergency running back.
I mean, power to him. That's it's a decent team to be with. That's a decent team to be with, dude.
It is, but are they that like thin though?
Maybe something happened that we don't know yet. You know?
Yeah.
We'll see.
It has to be.
But yeah, anyways, the wide receivers definitely didn't perform as a unit. And I know that a lot of draft capital was spent on wide receivers this year in the first few rounds, like heavy. I remember going through this when we were discussing the armchair draft and a few of the other drafts. Like it was in the top 4 or 5 rounds, there was way more wide receivers that were going. And it definitely appears that was the wrong draft strategy this year, that the running backs, it was actually better to go running back potentially. Instead of hanging out for wide receivers, because they were so like the tier is so close together once you're in that like 10th all the way down to 25th, like there's only 20 points that separate fucking Cortland Sutton from Calvin Ridley. So that's pretty wild to be honest with you. Yeah. So just something that I noticed for sure, because I was looking through some numbers earlier. So. Tight end is the worst position on earth. I think I'm going to advocate for all leagues to change their rules and put tight end as a double PPR only.
Yeah, premium.
Yeah, I think everybody should do that. I think that should be normal.
I like that,
because that's fucked. 158 points came out of the tight end position, and the 10th ranked tight end, who is Travis Kelce, according to this list, had 98 points. That point spread is insane. That is 60 points. That is a lot. And that is not a lot of points.
Again,
Like, if you're in a 12-team league, which Kyle Pitts is the 12th rank on here, which is bizarre, that's 84.2 fantasy points per game and a half PP. You're averaging 5. It's 10.6 to 5 points per game in the spread. That we have to up the value of the tight end position in fantasy football. This is kind of ridiculous.
I agree. So looking at this, Brock Bowers was number 1, clearly.
Yeah, he was outrageous. Good job, Brock Bowers.
It's the only weapon they. So he was averaging 12.2. According to this list, George Kittle's the second guy. He's 2. He was averaging 13.2.
Jesus. Yeah, I got Kittle at
10 points less.
I got Kittle at 8.1 points more than Bowers.
Wow. So, yeah, it's like it was crystal clear. It was Bowers, Kittle, and McBride this year. Like those were the 3 guys. And then end of the season, Jonnu Smith and Mark Andrews. Those were like the guys you wanted to have at the end of the season. If you held on to Mark Andrews, or if you happened to pick up Jonnu Smith in the middle of the season, it just that worked out for you. But like, Jesus, the rest of these guys though. Like Kelsey, we're seeing the decline.
Sorry,
he's still a great football player.
I apologize for some reason, even though it says that it's synced to Armchair, it actually didn't, and that was standard scoring. So Brock Bowers is at 206 and Kittle is at 197.6. Because I was just looking through the stat line there, and I was like, that actually doesn't make any fucking sense. So I just went and double checked and went to the half PPR. So I have been misspeaking the entire time, but. Jamar Chase 339, Justin Jefferson 266. Yeah. There we go, kid.
That's just nutso.
Hey, baby, making it happen live.
But it just like when you look at this, it's just like, holy shit! Like Travis Kelce was the guy. Like he was the guy. Yeah, and just to see like. And apologies, Travis Kelce is the 6th ranked tight end in half PPR. Pat Freiermuth is number 10. We've got 206 to 135. That's still a very wide fucking point spread. That's actually more. Oh, it's huge. Yeah, it's more than if you go standard. So, yeah, you should definitely be playing at least half PPR, and I think premium is the way to go, to be honest with you, because you're still only averaging 12.2 to 8 points, and that's just not this is whatever. I'd like to see more. Honestly, and I think the way to go premium is instead of doing like double, just go 1.5 per reception. 1.5. Yeah. Like that way it balances out, because if you do have a guy like Brock Bowers, if you do 2 points per reception, man, that's just going to be ugly. It's every single week that guy is going to single-handedly just wipe everybody else out. Yeah, I totally agree. I think 1.5 is definitely the way to go. But that just like tight end is just so like. And then just out of curiosity, and I don't want to talk about it for too long, I want to see kicker. Oh my God, that's so funny. I clicked it and then I went off of it because I was like, he ain't gonna want to talk about kickers, but let's fucking entertain this shit. I'm not gonna talk about it. I just want to look at the numbers, because remember how at the beginning of the season it was like I'm looking at Brandon Aubrey week 1. He had 21 points. Chris Boswell had 26. Yeah. In week 1. Like, come on, dude. Those are fucking kickers. Yeah. Yeah, 192 and then it all leveled out. For Aubrey. It all leveled out. I mean, he averaged 11.3 a game. Boswell 11.2. Where's what's his name? Justin Tucker, Mr. Automatic, 8.4. Like, and then everybody's favorite, especially the Niners, Jake Moody. So I mean, the unfortunate thing this year is that kickers are scoring more than tight ends. Yeah. So I don't know. For everybody who shits on kickers, which I'm definitely one of them, me kind of coming to that revelation doesn't really sit with me that well. I'm not so sold on getting rid of kickers at this point, to be honest. I think I might draft them a little bit sooner than 16 and 17 as well, though. Because at like 192 points, just like saying, for example, 192 points is the exact same thing as having, a couple more points than DJ Moore.
Brandon Aubrey scored more points than T. Higgins and A.J. Brown and Jameson Williams and Jordan and Tyreek Hill, Nico Collins. You know what I mean? So, like...
Yeah. I hate it.
145 for the 10th one with 10th kicker, which does make a little bit more sense. So you're kind of getting... a little bit more bang for your buck, but what does that translate to in the wide receivers? You're either picking between Josh Downs or Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, Khalil Shakir, fucking Alec Pierce, George Pickens, Xavier Worthy, Rashad Bateman, DK Metcalf. Like, those are all wide receivers that are definitely in range, and you could easily take a kicker over those guys. Just saying, folks. It's something to think about. I'm obviously not a kicker guy. I'm going to put in the poll in the armchair to get rid of them again this year because I do every year. But I'm just saying that they're not as bad as people. I mean, again, Devonta Smith 165. That's like, you're still getting like your top 8 kickers before you should think about taking Devonta Smith, apparently.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Excluding the rookie class that's going to be coming into the league next season, who do you believe are the top targets to go after? The usual suspects? Is there anybody that's rising particularly, or someone that you might think that is falling that you definitely want to stay away from? Like, not the super obvious guys, but do you have anybody that you're like, okay, this is somebody I'm going to target next year, and I have a good feeling about him?
I'm dumping Brock Purdy. I'm dumping Russell Wilson if I had him. I'm definitely dumping Anthony Richardson. I think those 3 are fair calls. And then I am thinking about picking up potentially Bryce Young, I have to say, because he definitely was a pleasant surprise, and I think he's got a decent future ahead of him if you can just kind of keep it going. I'm also pretty high on Geno Smith as like a number 2 quarterback. If you're like in that, especially in like a super flex and you need him to go, like my general thought process behind Geno Smith is just a little bit more valuable for him because I know I've shit talked to him a lot. So I would actually consider owning Geno Smith at this time. And I mean, my God, like you have to get some of Jaden Daniels. Like, I don't care like what it takes, but you need to be like giving up draft capital to get that dude. Like, he is outrageous, and he just like, holy fuck, that dude's crazy. So I'd be taking Jaden for sure. That would be my and then I need to wait a little bit longer, but definitely obviously in that list is Sam Darnold. But we just need to like figure out his situation and if he's actually going back to Minnesota, if he's not going to go somewhere else. But yeah, on the quarterback list, I think that rounds it out.
Yeah, he could be a safe play. But yeah, I mean, there were only 5 quarterbacks that averaged over 20 points last year: Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Baker, and Jaden Daniels. Jared Goff was just a hair under it. But yeah, I mean, those guys for sure. I was looking at the overall listing here. I mean, no doubt. Well, I don't want to say no doubt before I even go there, because I'm very curious about the Jamar Chase situation, because like he's got to get paid, man. He's got to get paid. Like, he went out there and he proved that he's the best wide receiver in the game. Like, he's got to get paid, right? I mean, and the worst thing is, this is the Bengals, and the Bengals could eventually try something real stupid and be like, oh, you know what? We're going to just franchise him. I mean, he only has 1 year left on his deal. I mean, is he going to hold out again? And if he does, you're still drafting him because he's not going to sit out the season.
Yeah.
Like, he could potentially be a number 1 pick next year.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to jump on Saquon. and I hope he can continue to have the same type of success next year that he had this year. I pray he does not get hurt. I do not want to see that guy get hurt. Like, he's playing the best football of his life. He's on the best team he's ever been on. You know, and I've not been hesitant to to express my fandom of him. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's an incredible dude. I love watching him play the game. I got a feeling, and I've said this for a few years now, but when does the decline for Derrick Henry begin? When does this guy?
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, like,
being superhuman.
So the only problem that I see is, like, I know he did well. He had a higher yards per carry. I have 5.9 instead of 4.2, 4.4, 4.3. So his average is there. The only problem is the fact that he carried the ball 325 times, and last year he only carried it 280. And they specifically said that he wasn't going to carry the ball as much as he did in Tennessee as he did in Baltimore. So that's already out the window. And then he carried 349 times in only 16 games in 2022. And this year it's again 325. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I think that last year might be the last one. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I could be 1 year too late on this. Maybe this was it. And it's too bad that Saquon, like, rained on his parade. That could definitely be a thing. But the dude hasn't been in the league for 10 years yet. He's completed 8 seasons now, and he's carried the ball 2,300 times. That is a fucking obscene average. And so, yeah, I'm definitely concerned about him. But he's 6'2", 247 pounds, and no one in the history of human running backs is built like this motherfucker. So I don't know.
He takes good care of himself, though. They talk about his regimen a lot, like how he eats clean, he works out like a fucking madman, and he's just like,
he's built like a linebacker, and not many linebackers last only, usually linebackers go into like their mid 30s, and they're still pretty strong football players. So I think there is one of one. There is a possibility here. So yeah, I'm definitely not giving up on Derrick Henry. I think that it's clear to take Jahmyr Gibbs over David Montgomery at this point in time. I know a lot of people
were about to bring him up next.
Yeah, I knew a lot of people were coin flipping over that this year, me included, and I just ended up staying away from both of them because I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. Much to my chagrin, I could have literally taken any of them, and they would have done better than almost all my running backs. So yeah, that's a little bit frustrating to see, but
I had a little bit.
Yeah,
I had a little bit of Montgomery this year.
I had him in best ball.
It was okay.
But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely the play for the Detroit Lions moving forward.
He's a first rounder, right?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. Because I had my hesitations about him as well, and those are gone. Long gone. Dude, especially after yesterday's game.
Saquon Barkley ran the ball 345 times, and Jahmyr Gibbs only ran it 250 times. Now, I know that Jahmyr Gibbs had 19 more receptions, so but he had like 217 more yards on those. Like, he was a beast out of the receiving in that way. But my God, that's almost 100 less attempts, and he's the number 2 running back. That's wow.
Yeah, he's really fucking good. He's really damn good. Like, any doubts, any sort of hesitation I may have had on him, completely gone. Like, there is no doubt in my mind Jahmyr Gibbs is a fucking superstar. Like, he is a bad motherfucker, man. He just 100%. Really is. I mean, I'm taking him over Bijan, actually, and Bijan's incredible, but I think the system, that he plays in, where Detroit is a run heavy, it's a run heavy type of team. They set up the run so that the pass can happen and all that stuff. And they're so complete Whereas Atlanta, it's a hot mess, man. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Maybe next year's a different story for them. Who knows? But
Yeah, we said that this year.
Until I actually see it, I don't. I'm trying to find somebody that another guy that I'm fully sold on, but definitely not first round grade. But A-Chain, I didn't know what to expect out of him this year because since he was more of a complimentary back last year, he had that really good like 4-game stretch. He was pretty damn consistent for the most part, I would say. I mean, I'm looking at it. He had 3 games with 5 points or less. Everything else was, I mean, okay, he had a 7.7, a 9.5, and a 7.3, but everything else was like 18s, 20s, 15s, 17s. He had a 28-point game. Like that's the guy on that team right now. You know, like if they can figure out a way to focus most of the offense from him, because he's catching, running, he's doing the same thing. And if that offensive line can get a little better, because that's what I was worried about when those 2 guards that helped them have the best running attack last year left, and coming into this year, I'm like, man, I don't know. That guy proved me wrong. He's another guy that you know you should definitely have your eyes on, and your boy Kyron Williams, him too.
Oh yeah, he's a beast. I fucking knew that for a mile.
I didn't think he was gonna do much. I thought they were gonna wear him out again, but consistent as well, man.
Yeah,
very,
and I really like
and
Bucky. I like Bucky and Chuba. I definitely would take them as my
Bucky's
second.
fantastic.
Like they're fan. I like both of them hardcore. They're great, fantastic running backs.
And then the last running back that I'm gonna stay where I'm at with him, even though he had arguably his best season. James Cook.
I hate him.
I still
him.
can't trust that guy.
Fuck him.
I still can't trust him.
He's a fucking.
I cannot trust him at all.
Fucking hate James Cook.
But there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to be moving up and a lot of guys moving down, I feel like. So
I think one of the best keeper values that people are going to have out there is Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he was taken really low in a lot of drafts. And I took him like 10th or something like that. So I got like a 9th round keeper kicking for him. So that's going to be dope.
he's
I'm
the number one out there for sure.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. He's definitely the new number one, and I think out of any position group like that one is definitely there's definitely basically a coin flip between 3 receivers. Like people were obviously leaning that Lockett was done, so it was going to be between Metcalf and Jackson. But boy almighty, did Smith and Jigba come? He
jumped over both of them.
Yeah, it was crazy. And almost overnight
over
too.
both.
That was just kind of the crazy thing about it. Everyone was like breakout, and then it just like kept happening every week and in and out. It's one of the most consistent appearances we've seen all year long. Anything else, Jerry?
No. I'm just scrolling through all these guys' names, and I'm not seeing anything that's making me go, yeah, that's a guy I need to make sure we talk about. We've got some interesting things to look at for next year, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I
can't believe it's already over.
Oh man, you're telling me, man. It's definitely flown by. So I had fun though. I definitely had fun. I had some crazy shenanigans go down this year in a few different leagues, but we survived, made it through, and it's never a normal season in fantasy football, the National Football League, Jerry. It's always a little bit of a clusterfuck, to say the least, I think. Yeah. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Fucked Up Fantasy Football Podcast. Your co-host, Corey Roussel, Jerry Rodriguez. Good job this year, Jerry.
Thanks, buddy. Same to you. It was another season in the books, man. Like, holy shit, here we are. Playoff time. Next episode, we're obviously going to talk about the matchups and the lines and who we think's gonna advance. It's gonna be a fun weekend, I think.
I I haven't told you this, so this is breaking news at the Fucked Up Fantasy Football Podcast. We're gonna have Drew live on Thursday for the bets episode.
Oh boy!
Here we go. Can't wait for that
humanity.
one. Oh, he's gonna be right ripping for sure. I can't wait. So yeah, you get to deal with that.
If he's gonna discuss the episode where his rant is happening and I can't hear a single soundbite of it, I'm just like, what's happening?
Oh man, this is one of my favorite moments of the season. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna do. We're probably gonna do one a week as we usually do once the playoff starts, kids. Maybe we'll do an extra one if we feel like it, but we'll see how that goes. But that's generally how we do our off-season, quote unquote, because I just love football so much. So we're gonna continue to talk about it. That's the way she goes. I hope everybody won a championship in week 18 if you did play. If you did play in that, please make that your last year that you ever play in that league and get the fuck out of there, or send a poll immediately to your league and ask them to change your fucking playoffs, because playing in week 18 is stupid and you just shouldn't be in that league in the first place. So try to change it first, but just that's dumb. That's really dumb.
Very dumb.
Goodbye, Cherry.
Goodbye, Corey.